Hello, I'm John Boaz, and I'm here with Larry McIntyre. McIntyre was inducted into the RB Hall of Fame in 2002, and May 19th, 2017 was declared Larry McIntyre Day, with proclamations from the City of San Diego, County of San Diego, and the State of California. We're talking with him today in the Museum of the RB Historical Society, which he founded in 1982. Larry, good to have you with us.
Thank you, John. Good to be here.
Wonder if you could tell us a little bit about your background and your training.
Well, my training's in commercial art, and in Chicago, we lived in Chicago for 36 years. No, more than, 36 years. And my whole family was there. And well, we kind of got involved with a lot of things, but art was my thing. So I've continued on, and we went, in high school they had a class called commercial art, and I went there and they were building pottery and stuff. I went, this is commercial art? And so I flunked that. And I always wanted to go back and tell a teacher that I'm in the art business, and I didn't want to bother because it wasn't worth it. But anyway, I went to the American Academy of Art, graduated from there, and that was my beginning. So I worked for a place called More Business Forms back there for 13 years. And that's the last business I worked for. From that point on, I think it was probably around 73 or 4. I've been working with my wife ever since. So we see each other 24/7 and we're still married. So she's a wonderful
Maybe
woman.
that's why you're still married.
Joyce is a wonderful woman. That's why I'm still married, because she's a wonderful woman. But anyway, we got tired of Chicago weather, so we decided, let's go check things out. My brother just moved to Mission Viejo up north, and her sister, Joyce's sister, was in Escondido. And they just moved there they were about pretty close together, about 6 months apart. So we went to out there to check things out. So we took the whole family, our 2 kids, Scott and Cheryl. And Cheryl was, well, I'll tell you about that later. But anyway, when I came out to California, we started in Mission Viejo looking around, stayed with my brother for a couple of days. We went down to 5, and we stopped at different places, and then we got to Encinitas, and we said, okay, but we saw this house and we liked it, we put a down payment on it. Then we remember somebody told us about Poway. So we went down Poway Road from what was then the 395, now it's the 15. 395 was a 2-lane highway then, as you know. And so we went down to Poway Road, and we were driving down Poway Road, and it says, this stinks. Why would anybody recommend Poway to us? Well, we didn't know about the other side of Twin Peaks, which was North Poway. So anyway, by chance, just by chance, we went back west down, and we came to this Pomerado Road. I said, well, that goes north and south, let's take that, right? So we went north, and all of a sudden, we came into Rancho Bernardo, and it was unbelievable. It was so beautiful, and the red tile roofs, and the sunshine better, and the birds were chirping louder. And so I said, we're coming back tomorrow. So we went back to Escondido with her sister, and then the next day we came there, and that was it. We met this guy at RB Realty at the time, and the coincidence is he showed us all these houses and then Bert Ball came in. He was the manager there, and Bert Ball is now a good friend of mine. He's moved away and has a lot of health problems, but he came in and he was at the desk next to our guy, and Stan Johnson, I think his name was. And so he was talking about, they wanted me to list it. And so this guy's, our guy's listening. He said, it's just 2 blocks away. You want to go look at it? I said, let's go. So we all got back in the car, went 2 blocks down the Alondra, and we turned there and there's this guy outside painting. He was getting ready to sell it, right? So he said, the guy went up there and said, is it all right if we come in and take a look? And he said, sure. And it was $85,000 for that house, by the way. A little more than we could stand, but what the heck. So we went in, looked around, and said, we didn't like a lot of things, but we knew we could fix them. But we liked the whole layout, and the kids went crazy because there was a pool in the backyard. They had just put a pool in, and this guy was a Navy guy, big honcho, and he got shifted to someplace else, and we had to sell the house. So we went back to the office and said, we want it. He called the guy up, he stopped painting his eaves. So it was 85, I think it was $85,000 for that house. Now, I think it's almost for 800,000, which is just ludicrous, I think. But anyway, that's how we came out here.
So Larry, did you see RB as a place to conduct business?
Oh yeah, that's what we liked about it. It was an industrial park up there, which was great. And we saw all the businesses on Bernardo Center Drive and stuff, and said, this is a good place just to start. And we already had our advertising agency in Chicago, which we kept there. And so we were going to do a little satellite thing out here. So we ended up buying the house, staying there. Yes, we did get a lot of business in this town. That's why I wanted to give back so much. So it was like a marriage. You know, the people in Bernardo, Rancho Bernardo, and I were all married together. It was just great.
So this was McIntyre Advertising?
That was McIntyre Advertising.
Incorporated?
Yes, it was. That's exactly what it was. And we kind of laid low for 3 months, and then we decided we were to get moving. So, I met all kinds of people. I not only was a creative designer, but I was had to be a salesman too. So I met all these people, and we all got along. It was great. We got a lot of business out of it, and then we kept moving on. It was just perfect.
Now, what was the transition into Legend Editions?
Oh well, before that, we had our business there, and I guess we sold it in '95. So then we wanted to work out of the house and just hang, you know. So that's when we made Legend Editions, and somebody bought McIntyre Advertising, changed the name, and moved away. Is the way it ended up about a year or two later. So pretty much that's how we got Legend Editions.
A lot of people associate you with the Rancho Bernardo phone directory. Mm-hmm. How did that get started?
Well, it's a little bit of a story there. In 1981, a couple of people came up to me that I know. I didn't know one of them, but I knew Dwayne McBride pretty well. And the other one was Bill Collins, quite a character. And they asked me if I wanted to be a part of founding the Arbor Chamber. So I said, yeah, I'd love to. And that was an honor for me because I had only been there 4 years, and I was, I was the youngest guy. I was like 40, whatever. And so I said, sure, that'd be great. I'd love to. So we ended up doing that. There was about 12 of us on the board. Bill Collins was a guy he was the guy that started the whole thing, really. And he was an advertising salesman from Chicago too, so we could hit it off. But we didn't. He was always testing me. He was always pushing me, and so he gave me a real hard time one time. And I stood up to him, and I said, "I'm not taking this anymore." And so we became great friends. He wanted to know if I could stand up to him. That's the kind of guy he was. Bill Collins he was one of my first mentors here. Great guy, great guy. Dwayne McBride got into a little trouble, by the way. He was financial guy, and he had a little Ponzi scheme going, and so he had to leave town. That was that, and I think there's only 3 of us left from the original chamber. I was on the board, and that would be Wayne Coulon and Steve Riddle and myself. And Steve Riddle has moved up north to, I don't know, somewhere in Long Beach or something like that. So that's my start in really getting involved in the community was the chamber. I really
Founding the
appreciate
chamber. You recall about when this was that the chamber was founded?
Yes, it was 1981. We were in. Took us about a year in organization, maybe a little less, and then we finally opened for visitors in '82, and we each had our thing to do. And Bob Wells, who was also on there, and no, he wasn't on there then. Yes, he was. It was '82. He was out here. He just came out. He was a guy from another big sales guy from Chicago. And then Wayne Coulon and I and Bill not Bill Collins, but Wayne Coulon and I and Bob Wells got together. What can we do to market ourselves to our constituents, everybody in Rancho Bernardo? How can we get involved? So I came up with an idea, but I see this gold book. It hasn't been done for quite a while. And I said, well, why don't we do a local phone book? And he said, okay, Larry, you do it. Let's go. So that was the start of the RV phone book. And so it's been like 36 years, I think, we've been doing it. And my wife spends most of her time on it, so she's really good at that.
Now, so then the founding of the Chamber of Commerce brought you together with a group of people that stimulated this idea.
Yeah.
As I indicated in our introduction, you also were a founding father of this organization,
Yes.
the RB Historical Society.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Well, I think it was, I can't remember the exact date, a couple of years later, I saw all this stuff leaving town. And I said, this doesn't seem right. I said, we need to ask people for things before they leave. And so we got all this history of RV. Because it's just incredible how much stuff was leaving. So I made a presentation to the chamber I wanted them to be involved, so I had some crutch, And so I made a presentation in the chamber about the Historical Society. I'd like to try an RV Historical Society and get a group of people together and see if we can get everything together, which, as you can see here, is just fantastic what you guys have done. So they greeted it very nicely. They said, this is a great idea, Larry, but you didn't do that on your own. So I did. I picked up the ball and went with it. And, I'm not sure, 84, 85, when was it? But we went with it, and that's when we had the problems over in Oaks North. So Ross Rizzo, who owned the winery here, was a great guy. I mean, I would walk probably 2 or 3 times a week from my house on Alondra over through the back end, which is now all homes. And sometimes he'd see me and he'd meet me with his golf cart. It was never off his golf cart. He died on his golf cart, and that's kind of interesting too. But he would meet me there, and we would go to the winery, pick up a bottle of red wine. I like red wine. And then we go to the secret spot and he'd get his whiskey. And we just drive around till everything was done. And then I have to call my wife to pick me up. So it was really fun. He was a great guy. Unfortunately, and I think it was in the early 2000s or maybe, yeah, something like that. He was found over here. He fell off his golf cart and he had a heart attack because he had a heart attack and he was gone. It was heartbreaking for me because I really loved that guy. He was a good guy. But his family has taken over and they've done a good job, so that's good.
Who were some of the others that were involved in the early Historical Society?
Oh man, I got that. I gave that to to the Historical Society, so all the documents are there. I gave my whole file, I didn't copy anything. So I'm trying to think, we had a good crew, but I just can't remember all the names. Most of them are not here anymore, or they're gone, or whatever. So, yeah, it was a good group of people. We tried our best, but as I've mentioned, we got discouraged after Oaks North didn't want us there because they were worried about too many people coming down the road and kids coming down in their in the school buses. So it was like we were doing something bad, So, and Ross Rizzo had already made plans for us to build a building for us. Well, he was so discouraged. He said, "This is not going to work," and we said, "No, it's not going to work." So we kind of put the Historical Society on hold for a bit, and this is after about 2 years, I think, of having it. So that's pretty much the way it went. And then I think for about 4 or 5 years, it was dormant, and then Mike Stillman came in, and whoever else was involved and helped out and got the thing going again. And I think Mike Stillman was the second president, I was the first. So that's pretty much
Okay,
how that whole thing started.
very good, thank you.
No problem.
Tell us about Rancho Report and Rancho Magazine.
Oh boy, okay, well, the Rancho magazine, kind of Rancho Report magazine or something like that, we have it. And Sue Herndon and Ann Kellerud and I decided to start up a little thing because Bernardo News wasn't doing anything anymore. So it was a good team because Sue Herndon was a salesperson and Ann Kellerud was a good writer and I was the creative guy, so I put it together. So we did that for about 4 or 5 years, and then we ended up giving it to the publishing company over here, Pomeranian Publishing, and they did it for quite a number of years, and then they abandoned it. So, but it was interesting because it was such a good team. We had so much fun doing it. So that's pretty much how we got involved with that.
Larry, you were also a spark plug with the RB Community Foundation.
Yeah.
You were on the board of directors, I believe, for 15 years?
15 years, yeah.
How did you get involved with that? And what?
Well, my second mentor, Bob Wells, got me involved with that. And I spent about 2 years doing some graphics and stuff for him. And they said, you should get on the board. So I got on the board, and it was a lot of fun. The Thanksgiving luncheon is one of the most terrific things they can do. I think this year they gave grants of $71,000 to the community. That's pretty nice. So, what was the question?
Well, how did you get involved in the foundation, and
yes.
What was your motive?
Yeah, my motive was just to help the community, and it worked out pretty good. So for 15 years, I did most of the artwork for them. I designed their logo and all that kind of stuff, and which was great. And then, so I finally said, I gotta stop this. So I still helped them stuff, but I got off the board because I had 2 other things I was doing. And so I said, we need some fresh meat in there, So basically, the one thing that was really nice is 2 years later, at the Thanksgiving luncheon, they honored me with a board member emeritus. So I'm still on the board. They won't let me go. But I thought that's really special. I really appreciated that. So that was pretty much it.
Well, you've been associated with a lot of boards, advisory boards of one sort and another. Can you tell us about some of those?
Well, there's two that I was involved with as an advisor, and that was the Bank of Rancho Bernardo, which is no longer in existence. I was an advisor on that. And then we had, the reason I got involved with North County Fair, which is now not called that anymore, but the reason I got involved with that is because we started a hot dog place. Windy City hot dogs, because I missed hot dogs. I mean, the Chicago hot dog is special. I mean, it's like loaded with veggies, you know. And so we decided to open one out here. Well, the first one we opened was in where Monticello's is right now. And the ceiling we put in is still there. It's the wood bat ceiling. So if, you should go to Monticello's. It's got great food. But we put that in and it's still there. So, and then we went to Escondido and had opened up one on Broadway. That one didn't work too well. And then we opened up one in the mall, in the food park. And that went pretty good. We were there for 8 years. And so that's pretty much how we got involved with that. Well, I'm the kind of person that gets to know everybody. So I got to know all the management there, and they said, we have an advisory board. We're going to start. We want to get you on it. So we had a lot of say-so that they never followed up on, of course. But I think it was more of a, let's hear you out, and if there's anything we think is good, we'll take it from there. So that's how I got the 2 advisory boards. It was that way.
Well, I understand that you've also been active in the celebration of the 4th of July in Rancho Bernardo.
Yes.
Spirit of the 4th. Tell us about that.
Well, that's another thing my second mentor got me involved in, Bob Wells. So I was on that for about 5 years, and in 1995, I think, I became president, and so that's why I got involved with that. Bob Wells got me in there, because I was doing work for them before that. I was designing things for them. I designed their logo, Spirit of the 4th logo, which they still use. And matter of fact, I designed the Historical Society logo, and you still use that. So that was pretty much how I got that involved.
So that art background has put you in a lot of different...
Shining.
That's great.
Yeah.
You're a co-founder of the Rancho Bernardo Business Association. Mm-hmm. Tell us how that got started and the role you played in that.
Okay. Well, the RV Chamber, which we started, decided they wanted to go regional. So they went all the way from here to tip of Escondido to Scripps to almost the coast. And we changed our name to it was the North San Diego County Chamber of Commerce. So we decided not we, but a guy named Carl Cruz, who was the bank manager of Temecula Valley Bank, which used to be over near where that empty bank is now, at Blower Center. And he called me up one day and said, Larry, you got time for a cup of coffee? So I said, sure. He said, I don't like the fact that this is regional, it's chamber. So we need our own little unit. I said, that's a great idea. I think we should do that. So just call it the RV, Chamber of Commerce. And I mean the RV. What did I say? I'm involved in so much stuff; they all come together at once. So we started the RV Business Association that way. And the reason that we did that and knew it would be successful was because we sent out a notice to the 55 businesses that we're going to have a meeting to see if this is viable, and 51 of them showed up. And they really, really wanted to be involved and get things going. So we felt really comfortable then. And so that's how that whole thing started. I was on the board. We had great board members. They were just energetic and ready to go. So we kicked that thing off, and within a year we had 100 members. And now I think it's around close to 300. And that's pretty good for Rancho Bernardo. That's about just pretty much, 20% of the businesses, I think, maybe more. So that's how the whole thing started. What happened was Carl Cruz said, we need a couple more people to get involved with this. So I called Bob Wells, my mentor, and he's wanted to get involved with it. And Carl called Marty Judd, and he wanted to get involved with it. So we just, the four of us teamed and we got started. It was fun.
Well, you've been involved in a wide variety of organizations for
Yeah,
sure.
that's for sure.
Reflecting back on all of that involvement, what do you feel is your most important contribution to the community?
I would say my most important contribution was my art talent, because I could give that all and back to the community if they needed it. I mean, I've designed logos for almost every organization in town. And if it's not just logos, but get involved with different things, and it's just I think it's my creative art talent that I could give back to the community when they gave everything to me. So that's the way I felt about it.
So that really is the common thread.
Yeah.
Larry, thank you so much for joining us today and
My
sharing
pleasure.
your recollections.
My pleasure.
Congratulations on the honors that you've received as a result.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very much.